All righty. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Today is February 11th, 2026. My name is Alan. I'm here with Matt. We're from OptionGenius, and we are here to talk about the markets and options and how to, I guess, quit your job. We talk about that. I mean, I think that's the goal. Quit your job so that you could trade and have a life. So
I'd say give you the space to find out what you want to do, right?
uh-huh. Yep. Yep. And so, full disclaimer, we are talking about trading. Trading is risky. You can lose money. You probably will lose money. Everybody loses money at one time or another. Hopefully, though, you get over that and you learn and you get better and you get consistent. But the losses and the risk are always there. So don't play with money you can't afford to lose and try to be smart with all your investments. So, what's going on today, Matt?
Well, the market is pretty flat. It jumped up this morning on the job numbers. So they had a better than expected job number. Um, but it has since retreated. It's kind of been flat for halfway through the day today. So it's kind of a little bit of a news and kind of flatlining.
So if the jobs number is better than expected, that means what? The economy is in good shape,
Better in shape than we thought.
better
Yeah.
shape than we thought, but inflation's still going up.
Albeit
So
slow. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean that gives the Fed some ammo to cut, maybe.
Hmm.
You think? I don't know. That might be something. So but again, I'm pretty much in the camp that we're not going to get any rate cuts anyway till June. The June meeting, and then we'll see. I think we will right away in June. I think we're gonna get like a 50 rate point cut in June. I think boom, boom, like right away, boom, and then maybe another one right after that.
Until we clear Powell away.
Until Trump is happy.
Look at that.
So until he's happy, and you could say that it's for the economy, it's for it's for the government, it's for the Republicans to look good, but in the back of my mind, it's always like, Trump is also a real estate guy. And so if he can start refinancing some of his loans or do all that, I mean, he's going to make a lot of money, right? He's going to save a lot of money if rates are low. So it's like in the back of my mind, it's always like, okay, what's in it for him? I don't know why. It just, uh,
And then in back of that thought, it's like, how much is enough? He probably has like more money than you could ever think of. Like, what do you need? So it changes a little bit.
I don't think I don't think he has a number in mind. For him, it's like a game and he wants to be the best and go out on top. And I think that he actually has that mentality where I, I need to be number one.
Right. From
So
from what perspective? Like a monetary perspective or
every
just that
perspective,
question? Well, that's a little different, right?
I think
Because you
it's every
say,
perspective. He needs to have the most money. He needs to have the best reputation. He needs to have, everybody like him. You know, that's what he would want. Of course, he knows everybody's not gonna like him, but um, and he like the best reputation, he likes to see his name everywhere. It's just, I think that's just the way he is, and so there's something to be said about that, the good and the bad. But
yeah, yeah. I think this is his second term, of course, so he's got a second run through.
he
Um,
couldn't let it go, right? Like
no, he's
he
gonna hit it
could,
hard here.
yeah, he couldn't let it go. He had to come back. Most of the time, like Al Gore, I remember he lost, right? And he could have probably come back and run again, but he would have won too, I think. But he didn't. He just went off and like, I'm done. And he left. So
Yeah.
interesting. David says, hello, gentlemen. Hey there, David. What's going on with you, my man? Hopefully you're having a great day. So let's look at this. So market is like you said, it's flat. S&P is flat. Russell's down about 0.7%. Oil's at 64 and a half, so that's inching higher. Dollar has been retreating, but it's flat today. The Nasdaq is up a little bit. The Dow is down a little bit. Gold is up about 1.5%. VIX is down to 17.4. OVX is retreating, the oil volatility, to 44 and a half. And Bitcoin is still slumming around at 67,000, almost 68,000. So, um, interesting. And I was looking today at the new highs list, right? So the companies that have made a new 52-week high.
Mhm.
And I look at the list from time to time, see what's going on, see what's working. And the top names are GE, Veranova. Well, I go by price. So
Okay.
I look at the highest ones first and then go down. GE Veranova, which is they make turbines and defense stuff, but mostly it's electric and machinery. Then the next one is Caterpillar. The next one is Deere. The next one is HCA, which is healthcare. Then we have Eaton. Eaton is also a machine company. Taiwan Semi, and then we have FedEx. And then the name, the list goes on and on. But I mean, a lot of these top names are manufacturing companies. So
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
yeah. So you would attribute that what to the build out of AI and everything attached to it? That's what I've been thinking about.
I think it's just a rotation. I think it's in money moving out of one sector and going into another sector. That's what I'm thinking. So, um,
It's important.
yeah, I
But
mean, I think it's the professional money managers looking around and saying, okay, hey, what worked really good last year and what is undervalued or underpriced? And let me go buy some of that because I think that's going to rally. And, the last couple of years, we've had Mag 7, which is the bulk of the S&P, and it was driving the S&P. So as long as the Mag 7 were good, doesn't matter what, the other 493 were doing.
I would call
SVX
it
will still go
S&P
up.
493.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like the Mag 7 are down and the 493 are moving up.
Well, we talked
So,
about this. A lot of those software names are looking to be in trouble, right? And their moats are being destroyed, right? So you have all this, if something can be replicated or change or a business model change that quickly, what is you got to ask yourself, what's the valuation long term? And they're already valued at such high numbers.
mhm.
So those people are saying, hey, wait a minute, if you can do this quickly, that some like for instance, something took a decade to make, or a company that can be done and it can be compressed down to a few days even now, right? With the software models that are coming out, then you're like, wait a minute. So I think I tend to agree that some of the oomph out of the Mag 7 is kind of over.
And
Not to say
then
it'll be profitable going forward. It's just that it's kind of run its course.
I don't
And
think
some
it's
of these,
over. I don't think it's run its course. I think
I
it's,
don't want to say it's over. I want to say that it's muted, right?
yeah, it's taking a pause, right?
Yeah,
Until we have some more um,
clarity.
developments or clarity in terms of, the spend. The spend is crazy. Now, last year or a few quarters ago, Facebook came out and said, "Oh, we're going to spend a whole bunch of money," and their stock went down completely. Since then, Amazon, uh, Google, who else? Um, the other ones, all of them have come out and said the same thing. We're going to be spending, over 100 or close to $100 billion a year or $200 billion a year on this stuff until it's done.
Well, I think this is a race that they can't afford to sit, all of them. The technology's moving so fast. I mean, they need the race. What it was it Google who it was $100 million in bonds. I don't know, forget what the number was that they're raising
Yeah.
for money. So it's
Yeah.
a race that they can't sit on the sidelines and be like, hey, it makes all the investors nervous, of course. But to win this race, that's what's got to happen.
Yeah. And as long as it takes for them, I think it might be that as investors, maybe we need to rotate out of that as well, out of Mag 7 and into something else. Because if we look at the names here, GE Vernova, Caterpillar, Deere, HCA, which was a healthcare name, Eaton, FedEx, right? No, no AI in those names, no computers, right? They're all making stuff uh,
Right.
that computers, AI cannot, uh, at this point, it can't make a machine for you. It cannot deliver your package for you. It can't give you healthcare, etc. So, um, I think that's working really well.
So I mean, you could also think about, you know, infrastructure, right? You start thinking about robotics, the future. You could start thinking about those names, right?
Yep. Yeah, those will come.
Right. So it's like you start to think about where is this all going, right? And what are the names?
Right. I think, for those, it's like just like a long-term thing. Just like put your money in a little bit and just hold on to it. You never know how long it's going to take. But for us, for as traders, we need to stick with what's working right now. I was talking, I had an email conversation with a trader last week, and she has been a huge proponent of the wheel. Did it for years, actually taught people how to do it. She ran classes on it, doesn't do it anymore. She's like, yeah, I don't, I want to be a trader. I don't want to just get stuck in a stock and have it take years to recover and have my money tied up. I want my money working. And I agree, you know. I'm not saying that the wheel we don't do it anymore. I think it's still very powerful, especially in this type of market where we're kind of muted, right? We're not running high, we're not going down, kind of just moseying along
That's
a little
perfect.
bit.
The wheel. And the wheel, I think, is quite fun.
Yeah,
It's fun too,
yeah,
But everyone has a different active level and as far as trading goes. And I
yep,
think you're correct. I mean, there's times where it works really well, and there's times when it doesn't.
yep,
So yeah, the
yeah,
big downfalls, it just becomes dead money, and that's what you don't want.
yep. Michael's asking, isn't GEV a threshold again since it's at above 800? Ah, let's see. Yes, I
Oh,
think it is today. Did it close above 800? I think it did a couple days ago.
wow, it's up 30 today, 30 points.
Let's check. I'm gonna go over to bar chart. Make sure I pull up a chart for entire history of GEV. And actually, GEV is not very old, right?
No,
So
they split, like you said, right?
yeah, so yeah, definitely. Does look like it might close. If it closes above 800 today, it is a threshold. So good call there.
Just cash. I
I
think it will. It's up quite a bit today.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I actually did a trade on GEV today. I don't mind sharing that. Let me see here. Um, we had talked about this. I'm not sure if it was on the last call, but it was basically a at the money covered call.
Yeah, that was less. Mhm.
Yeah, so I did that again, but I did it on GEV this time. So bought 200 shares and sold two of the 830 calls that expire in 9 days. So I got $20.60 per option. There's two of those. So I'm looking to make um hold on a second. I show you. I am looking to make about $5,600 in 9 days.
Not bad.
Yeah. BP effect is 136,000, so a little costly there. So let's say 5,650 divided by 136, 200, about 4%. Originally it had shown me less because I think it is less in my account because it's portfolio margin, but it's showing me the whole BP effect as 136. So, yeah, I think it's a decent trade. It's a good chance of winning. So I saw that today. Another threshold that might cross above is Parker Hannifin. That one is
That's
crossing 1,000.
that thing's been rolling.
Yeah, that thing has been. So I posted about that at the club. Uh, and the only thing, the problem with that one is that the options volume and liquidity are not there, and they don't have weeklies.
Hmm.
So, I think, and so, I mean, in my mind, I was like, okay, what can we do here? Can I do naked puts? I've done naked puts on it. Not too many. I did one. Um, but again, it was on the monthly contract. So I've been in it a while. Uh, and
Gonna expire worthless.
that one is, I got 9 days left. It's the 9/10 put. I still got 9 days left. So it'll make about almost $900.
Mhm.
And in my account right now, the BP effect on that is about 6,500. So 900. So that was, decent 10%, or more than that, but I had to wait for it, right? Um, so I'm thinking, okay, if can't really do a short-term option, can't do really a covered call because it's $1,000 a share.
Run away.
Um, and so what's the best thing? And I thought, maybe an in the money for a poor man's covered call might work. But again, $1,000, so those calls are going to be expensive too. Um, so I don't know. Maybe we can just buy a couple shares and hold on, or maybe we just pass on it. I don't know if there's anything we could do on this one, unless you have big money to work. But
You could always pause and come back to it.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, now that it's getting to 1,000, they might actually do a split soon, hopefully. So maybe who knows? Um, the other thing I've done is I have gotten back into gold today. Actually, I believe it was yesterday, or yeah, yesterday I got into gold. So I did get into the futures. So I have one contract. The
back to the honeypot.
Back
Okay.
to the yeah, man, back to the
All right.
leverage. Back to the leverage. I got addicted. And so margin, if you remember, last year on gold it was about 20,000. Then they increased it. Then they increased it. Currently, right now, margin is sitting at $81,000 for one
Woo.
contract.
Woo.
Um, and for silver, it's in the vicinity of close to 200,000 per contract. So that is out of my
Silver
pay
is so
range.
fascinating to me.
Yeah,
You need it for a lot of things,
yeah.
chips and whatnot for the future.
So I actually looked at AGQ, the three times leverage ETF, and I sold some naked puts on that one today.
There you
So
go.
I
A
got
little
back into
diversification.
a little silver and a little gold. Did it a different way. I think, like so, depending on what the stock is doing, you play with different strategies, right?
Hmm.
If a, like when these were just kicking butt and just rolling, just flying, you want to maybe just buy some calls and just hang on tight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but now it's not doing that. Um, I think maybe we have a low is in for now, but the long-term thesis we've been talking about it is still intact for both of them. And so I do think that they're going to move higher, but I think they're going to go slowly. I don't think they're going to fly as much again. It'll take some time for the people who lost to
Step
you
back
know,
into the pool.
get back in. Yeah. Yeah. And start going nuts again. So, for me, I think like instead of just buying calls on like HEQ, I think a naked put would work great because it
Yeah.
is three times leverage. So the volatility is there. And so the premium is there. So I can make money on that. Even if it's flat, it'll still be good. And if it drops a little bit, then, maybe I get the shares and then I can, um, participate in silver that way as it goes up slowly. And with the gold, because it's a future, every time gold's up a little bit, this thing is making a really nice return. So today, gold is up 1.7%. This contract is up almost $9,000, right? So hopefully gold doesn't go crazy and start jumping like it did before. And if it can mosey along at, 0.5% or a little bit on a daily basis or up and down, maybe even for a week. Like if it only goes up, 1% for a week, I
Yeah, it
think
adds
that would
up.
be really
Hmm.
good. That would be really nice.
Absolutely.
But it
Yeah,
is,
I like that a lot, to be
you
honest with
know, yeah. So gold had I mean, it's above the psychological level of 5,000. So I think as long as it stays above there, I think I'm okay. Goes below that, then I'm probably going to bail out. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And right now it's at $5,117 today, right now. So it can keep going. And we'll just see how it goes.
you. Interesting.
Yep. Did you know that the Vatican has a bank? I know this is totally out of left field, but did you know that the Vatican has a bank?
No, I did not. But
Yeah.
it's funny you said that. Like I was I don't know why I was watching this movie last night, but I was watching The Godfather.
Mm,
Okay, and they mentioned the Vatican Bank in that movie.
yeah. Yeah. They've had it for
I
a
was just
long
like,
time.
huh. And then you just said it right now, so I'm like,
Yeah.
huh, that's interesting.
And so today, or maybe today or recently, the Vatican Bank has created their own stock index. So
Really?
basically, they went
I
through
want to
all
see
the
what's in
different,
that.
yeah, they went through all the different companies and they're like, okay, which of these are guided by or abiding by our Catholic principles? And they have a list of all these companies now. And so they are looking to have somebody, some ETF company, to come and license that index from them. And then those people will go and create an ETF.
Ugh,
And then
golly.
they'll market that to Catholics. They'll be like, "Oh, Catholic people, come join our, come invest in our
Oh
Catholic
my.
ETF, sanctioned by the Vatican." Right? I mean, it's like
This is
you can't get a better testimonial than that. Like, it's sanctioned by the Vatican.
so funny you said that because in that movie there's the intermingling. Of course, the mafia, but it's that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, these are the companies God wants you to invest in.
Invest in YOLO.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are other type of indexes like that, and I believe there's a Muslim index, probably more than one. But this is the first time the Vatican's getting involved, so it's very interesting. Um,
Really is.
how,
Yeah.
it's like the world gets smaller and smaller, and everybody sees what other people are doing to make money, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I want some of that."
Yeah. So where did you see that? Unless you're,
It was an article. I don't remember where it was.
that is fascinating.
Yeah.
And then there's probably a prediction market on top of it. When will this happen?
Well, I checked the prediction markets for the Super Bowl and they were right. They were right.
That's pretty close.
Seahawks won. Actually, they were wrong on the first touchdown. They were saying that the Seahawks running back was going to get the first touchdown, but I believe it was the tight end who got the first touchdown.
Ah.
So anybody who bet on that guy, they made a killing.
Which one do you use?
I don't use them, but I have Coinbase, an account with Coinbase, so I have it on my phone. I have the app on my phone, and now you can check all of those as well
Yeah,
on Coinbase.
it's on
So,
Gemini too. They have it.
yeah,
They have
uh,
it both.
Gemini, oh, the app or the crypto
Yeah.
company,
Huh.
not the Google AI,
No, not
but
the Google. Yeah, it's
the
easy
crypto
to
company. Yeah,
get it.
and there's so many now. Robinhood has theirs,
Robinhood.
Kalshi, and I don't
Schwab
know.
is getting into all that stuff.
Probably
Yeah,
they're
they
they're
are.
they're behind the curve. But yes, I was looking at it on Coinbase, and it seems like those guys, the prediction markets are. It's better watching that than like watching the financial news. You
Yeah, I
know?
think it's really interesting you say that because I think a lot of people are going to that, right? Or they're using a combination of, right, to look at things.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing because it allows people who are at home and doing their own research to actually profit from some of this stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like if you are really big into politics, right? You can bet on these races, these political races. If you are really big into economy, like you're an economist and you can't find a job because nobody's hiring economists
Yeah,
anymore.
I guess you
um,
hyper focus into your specialty,
yeah, you
right?
actually do the work and look at the jobs numbers and okay, is it going to be above this or below this? And you can actually bet one way or the other and actually make a living maybe that way. So it might give people hope.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it is fascinating for sure.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, like, the one thing I like is in doing what we do, paper trading, I'm more active now than I have been in the past. Um, and so now I will probably do maybe 3 or 4 trades a week,
Mhm.
right? In the past, it was much less. Mostly the money was concentrated, less than maybe like 10 to 12 trades
Yeah, and it depends
going
on
on
what
at the
account, of
time.
course, you're trading in,
Yeah.
obviously. Um,
Yeah. And so I guess I'm getting a little bit more active. And it still takes roughly like, 15 minutes a day.
I know.
It's so cool. It's like, okay, I want to like I have I watch the Fast Money show on CNBC like religiously every night. I'm gonna go home.
I know you need to be like on that show. They need to
It'll
bring
be it'll be recorded and I'll
let's
watch it.
get Alan Sam on that show.
I'll fast forward. No, thank you. No, please. So I'll fast forward through it and I'll watch it and all that. And for the last couple of days this week, it's not there, and because they got the Olympics running. So I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I'm going through withdrawals. Like I need to watch my
oh my
show.
goodness. So you
But it
have what,
doesn't make any
another
difference.
another week
My
left?
my trades are still fine. Everything is still fine. Watch it or don't watch it. It doesn't really make any difference in our trading. So I think that's it's a sign that like you don't need to watch, bro.
You
Or you
don't,
don't
but
need
I
to
mean
watch as
it's
much.
it's I guess you could take it might of course they go over some topics, maybe something you didn't think about. Gives you, some stimulation some way.
Yeah,
It does not affect, you're right, it doesn't affect the way we trade at all.
yeah. And so um it's very it's weird because like when we tell people, hey, we want you to back test. Well, when you're back testing, you don't know what's going on in the world. You have no idea if there's a Fed meeting the day that you're back testing or not, You're just back testing and oh, something happened today. I don't know what it was. Keep going.
Well, it's
Um,
true. In the sports world, they call that rat poison, right? It's all the noise. It's all
what'd you say?
the
Rat poison?
rat poison, right?
What was that?
So it's like a saying in the sports world. Like if you are focusing on the next game and you start hearing about people talking about how you play as a team, or there's this going on or this going on, all these external events are happening. They call that rat poisoning. You're taking the rat poison. So the
Okay.
same kind of idea in trading, right? It's like we focus on what we need to do. We don't listen to fast money and some talking head or this or that or your brother or your sister or your uncle. You don't listen to all them. You just focus on what you need to do and execute it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And last year, my biggest loss or one of my biggest losses was in that Eli Lilly trade. Right? And it was my revenge trade, and I tried to get out of it. I tried to fix it, and I ended up finally, you know, like me and you on this show, we're like trade therapy. It's kind of what it is.
yeah.
And like you kind of talked me out of it, and you're like, hey, you need to get out. So I got out. Um, now that I think about it, I was only in that trade because of that show, Fast Money.
Mm.
Otherwise, it would not have crossed my radar. I don't like to invent or invest or trade in
No, you said this a
biotechs
long time ago.
or
Yeah, you said
medical
that.
names
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
the drug companies.
I
I don't
need.
like it.
Yeah.
And so they kept talking and they kept bringing on these analysts for drug companies, and they kept talking about how wonderful the drugs are and how people are going to lose so much weight and how many millions and millions of people around the world are fat and this and that. And I'm like, holy cow, this is going to be the best thing in the
Mhm.
world. And I got in and it worked for a while until it didn't. And then I didn't get out in time. Um, but I would not have been in that trade if it wasn't for that show. So maybe that show, maybe the financial
Well,
news is not a
I will
good thing.
also add, don't invest. This is one of my rules. Don't invest off of any CEO interviews that you listen to. They are master salespeople. They are there for a reason, right? So it's like they come on and they're like, "Oh, we got CEO of, whatever," and they're like, "Oh, they build up their company." You're like, "Oh my God, it's the best thing ever," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of shares," and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, I don't do that.
yeah. Yeah, if you see a CEO who's not talking about how amazing his company is,
Yeah,
you need to you need to
he's
get
not
out of it.
really he's
You
not
need
really
to
a
get out of it
CEO.
right
Yeah,
away.
he's not a CEO, or he won't be soon.
Uh, yeah, and that's like all the Jim Cramer, the whole show is him talking. I like this, I like that, and then bring on some CEO to talk about their company and how wonderful they are. But you don't know if they're telling you the truth or not.
You have no idea.
And so I mean, I stopped watching him a long time ago, and
The Kramer effect.
yeah. But like you said about the CEOs, the NVIDIA CEO Jensen, people still listen to everything he says,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I
And
would I would say if you study that CEO, that's a different case, right? It's not just going on to a show and
why?
listening.
Why is it different?
Because you're doing your research. If you were let's say really into NVIDIA and you're studying that company and you knew the history of Jensen
Hmm.
Huang, you knew that, then that would be a different case, I'd say.
But he only says good stuff. He never says, "Oh yeah, AI is slowing down
But
and things are going bad and we lost a
you have
customer."
no,
And
but you have confirmed his track history for yourself.
I guess.
I mean, if you go back years and years and years, he's obviously laid a footprint over time, right, about what he's done and where he's gotten to where he's gotten, right? And I'm not saying that some CEOs are like this, some are, up and down. You have to go and check that out.
Well, but everything he says is so televised or, and in the news. So even if he makes a comment like, "Oh, I'm worried about X," the stock, the AI market, the stock exchange,
Well,
everything is gonna like go nuts and fall like immediately. If he
that's
says
because he's
even
front and
one
center though, right
thing.
now. He's front and center. Like,
Yeah, so he has to be all positive and oh my God, this is the best thing in the world and we're changing the world and nothing is ever going to be the same again and the roses are coming out of my butt kind of thing. Like he has to be that way. Otherwise, everything's going to crash.
but if you followed him, let's say 10 years ago, right, or 15 years ago, where he wasn't on the radar, and maybe he was on your radar a little bit, where you went back
Hmm.
and actually kind of went back in history and looked at some different things about where he was and how he did, wherever he was and what he was doing,
Yeah.
you'd have a better idea about whether you want to be in with a CEO like that.
I don't know.
Because it's critical. I mean, it's critical to any company, right?
I
Like
don't
who's
know.
steering the ship? I mean, that's important.
Well, he's never in the office. He's always like giving a
Well,
talk
now you're talking about
somewhere.
him now. You're talking about him right now.
Well, I mean, now is when they're
Yeah,
going
well,
gangbusters. This is
yeah,
when
well,
they're,
he's at the
uh,
pinnacle right now. He's slam dunking the basket right now.
yeah. But you know that Google has their own chip that is taking
Hmm?
share from NVIDIA. And there's just one of many. Microsoft's trying to come up with their own chip. Amazon's trying to come up with their own chip. All these guys are taking share from NVIDIA, not to mention Samsung, Intel, AMD, all the others. Um, and so eventually he's going to have to come out and say it, you know, like, oh, hey, yeah, uh, we're not going to be selling as much as we thought. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
what's going to happen then.
well, these companies always reinvent themselves. They're ones that survive.
Yes,
His
yes.
moat is so big right now, right? And they have the first mover advantage and
It's
all.
getting smaller fast.
Of course, yeah, that's natural, right? So, as these companies pivot and move and whatnot, and merge and change and morph, um, all things you got to pay attention to.
I actually feel that NVIDIA is in maybe the worst shape of all of the AI names,
And
um, because they are a single provider. Like
okay,
they make chips, and that's kind of it. If you take a look at Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, all these other guys, they are multifaceted. So they have revenue streams from other things, and they also have the cloud. They also have chips. They also have, commercial properties or other things that they're making money from. Um, and if you look at like OpenAI or Anthropic or any of those guys, they're much smaller. And so they are focused on one thing, and they're the technology everybody wants. NVIDIA is eventually it's going to become the commodity provider. Like, oh yeah, you can get an NVIDIA chip, or you can get a chip from here, or a chip from there, a chip from here, a chip from there. There's like 10, 20 different places you can get the chip from.
Right, and they're changing.
Yeah. So they're trying to, of course, stay on top and be everything. But again, with the costs, right? Um, if these companies are out there and they're borrowing $100 billion, well, that's their limit. They can't spend more than that. So are they going to spend it on a data center, like a building? Are they going to send it on the electricity? Are they going to send it on chips? Well, if they can save money on the chips, they will. So I think, at least for the stock, I think the best days, the best gains are behind it. It's still a great company. He's still a great CEO. And if they pivot and they come up with something else that we don't know about, I think it might do great. But other than that, I don't think like Nvidia is going to outperform some other names that are out there.
Not going to be like a Kodak in your mind.
No, I don't think it's going out of business. No, 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 no way.
I know, I'm just saying that's
They're
safe.
still diversified in their chips. They have AI, but they also have other types of chips that they make for other things, especially gaming and whatnot. That's how they got their start, right? So, I think they're still there, but they've grown. The company has grown so much, so much, so much, so much, so much that eventually, I don't know if you can grow anymore
Right.
when you're like a one trick pony. So,
Yeah, fair to say.
yeah.
Alan is not long NVIDIA. Got it.
My son is long NVIDIA.
Really? Yeah.
My eldest, yes, he has a Roth, right? All my three kids have Roths. Uh,
That's awesome.
and he sold his Tesla to buy NVIDIA.
Really?
Yeah, so he was kind of
So did you
he was kind of market timing it. So I think he messed up on that trade.
did you talk about it before he did that, or did he come to you
Yeah,
and
yeah, no, he told me. I mean, I do the trades. I don't. They don't have access to the
right?
accounts. So yeah, I did it for him. But yeah, he told me this is what I want to do. He was big into Tesla, but Tesla was, going down, down, down. And the video was fine, doing well, so he switched it. And then they kind of switched. The video started going sideways, and then Tesla started rebounding. So I think he
Did he
he
ever
kind of
tell you why he got in the Tesla?
yeah, he loved
Elon Musk, yeah.
yeah,
Or
he loved the technology. He thinks it's the future, EV cars and all that stuff. And it's a hip company, right? It's a cool company.
yeah, it's been hip from the beginning, pretty much.
Exactly. And I think it's still I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up. But
It's just amazing that Elon Musk is running so many different companies and what they're accomplishing. It's just mind blowing, right?
yeah, I mean
So
his
it's
work
like,
ethic is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
yeah, I mean,
You have to be like that. So
how, like, does he merge all these companies into one, I guess, or it depends. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
well, I don't know. So what?
Definitely
SpaceX and XAI
SpaceX,
merged, right?
XAI, they merged, so
They
then you just
merged,
have Tesla.
right?
So
And
really,
so that one's going public this year. Um, Probably going to make a lot of people a lot of money, and that's going to make him a trillionaire.
yeah,
So good for him.
over
You know?
again.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. So it's going to IPO, right?
Mm-hmm.
The date is. A lot of
Yes.
people are going to rush in and be like, "Here, Elon, here's my money," right? So it'd be an interesting one to watch to see if it just explodes up and then, falls for whatever reason, if they hear any kind of bad news or their lockup period or whatnot, how that works.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see though, because I think that you're going to have an exodus of people out of Tesla and into SpaceX
I could see that happening, right?
for the
Just
IPO.
on
Yeah.
inertia and people, all the buzz.
not in the buzz, but it's all of the groupies, right? The people who really believe in Elon, they're going to sell one and go into the other. Because right now, if you want to invest in Elon, you can only do it one way. Now you have something else, which is basically rocket ships, which is going to the moon, right? So it's like, oh yeah, this stock is going to go to the moon.
I would argue that's some buzz. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean,
So Tesla might see a pretty bad pullback while that happens. So like I'm always thinking, like, okay, if this happens, what does it affect? What are the repercussions of this going on? And
mhm.
where's the money going to come from? There's only a certain amount of money out there. So every time there's an IPO, people invest in it, but the money comes from somewhere else.
I think investors are also worried about his focus, right? Is he losing focus on Tesla and now he's over here? That's always a concern of some people, especially investors.
Yeah. But they don't like I mean, if you're going to invest in him in any of his companies, you have to understand him.
Yeah,
And his thing is, I don't think his thing is about making money, you know?
no, I would say not. He's got all the money you could ever think of.
Yeah, but even before that, his thing was about, hey, we need to save the planet. We need to save the humanity. And we need to get to Mars or outer space. And how the hell are we going to do that? What are the technologies that we need in order to do that? We need electric technology. We're not going to Mars on gasoline.
Well, now he's talking
Um,
about going to the moon.
right. Well, because
It's
it's
pivoted,
cheaper.
yeah.
It's cheaper and faster. But even if you're going there, right, you can't get off of there because there's no gas on the moon. And you're not going to transport all your gasoline from the Earth to the moon so that you can refill up there and build a gas station on the moon to go somewhere else. So they need other technologies. They need batteries. So that was what Tesla was first, right?
Hmm.
They had the cars, but then they were really into the batteries. And you can still get Tesla batteries for your home. You can still get Tesla solar panels for your home.
Yeah.
And now he's getting out of the cars and he's moving into robotics and self-driving.
Yeah.
So,
He's talking about putting robots on the moon to make these data centers.
well, I mean,
That's crazy.
what are you going to do it? You're going to have
I
you're going to have
know.
the Neil Armstrong guy with that big
Go up
clunky
there and give
outfit.
him a shovel,
You're going
man.
to be
Just
like,
start
"Oh, I'm building something in slow motion."
put that
No,
brick over there. I want you to shovel here.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't work on that.
It's
You get
just
the robot, whatever, probably very heavy robot, so that the gravity is there, so he doesn't have to like bounce up and down on the
yeah,
moon, right? He could just walk normally, and he'll just live there until he falls apart, and he'll just keep working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
24 hours a day. Yeah. Now
Um,
you just remembered. Remember we talked. You talked about Boston Scientific
mhm,
episodes back,
yeah,
and we talked about that video where they're doing, moving and walking and whatnot. There's one that came out like yesterday where they're doing actually like um, Olympic gymnastic moves, doing flips, and it's moving that quickly. So I was just like, whoa, that's pretty impressive. Just doing two flips, flip in the air, boom, landing it, moving. So different from just a couple, what, mo month ago, right?
just yeah,
So
it's crazy. It just
it's
yeah.
improving.
So I mean, Elon said that the doctor surgeons are going to be replaced by robots in 3 years. I don't know, maybe 5 years, but it's getting there.
Maybe less. I don't know, right?
Maybe less. Yeah. I mean, I own Intuitive Surgical as a company, as a stock, and they, they've been in that business for a long time where they're building robots to replace surgeons. They've been in that business for a long time.
Yeah,
So now it's
it's
getting to
happening.
the robots are getting smarter and faster and faster. There are actually AI ETFs, believe it or not.
What are a few of them?
Um, I read about it this morning. There's a company in Israel that's coming out with a couple of them. Some of them I don't know the names of the ETFs, but there's this one company coming out with a couple different ones where they're like, we don't have any um, we don't have any managers. the AI, we load up the AI with all the information on the different companies. Basically, they're only doing the top 500 names, so the S&P 500. So they're loading up the AI with all the information about the S&P 500, and they feed it all the news every day of all the companies. And then the AI, using their models, will determine which is the best one to invest in, or the best ones, and how much to allocate to
Hmm.
each one. And I mean, I don't know if that's AI. That you could program that into a robot and the robot could do it at the same speed, right? So we'll see how the AI comes on it. Maybe it just might be a gimmick that, oh yeah, it's AI, but anybody can do that on their own right now.
Yeah,
Like you can go to any AI tool and do the same thing. So it's not uh it's not the rocket science at this point, but it might get better. I don't know.
very interesting. I was looking at this, we are just talking about this. Have you ever heard of BOTZ, BOTZ? It's a global
No.
robotics ETF.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's out there. Pretty interesting. So they're around.
Interesting.
BOTZ. I was just looking at it. So it is go into what it is. BOTZ. So it's a Global X Robotics and Artificial Intelligence ETF, an exchange traded fund. Invests in companies operating across development of robotics and or artificial intelligence, including involved in developing industrial robots and production systems. So this stuff is all there.
Yeah, I mean they could invest in anything
Yeah,
with that kind of thing. Um, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
The I mean, it's doing okay. It's not doing all that, but
yeah. But if you think about, looking out to the future,
right.
something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you could just give your money to what's her name? Kathy
Kathy Wood.
Kathy Wood, yeah.
Kathy Wood is Elon Musk's like biggest fan.
She has to be. She has to be a cheerleader. She
I
has to
know.
be the CEO that's out there talking good stuff about technology all the time.
Oh, and she does a wonderful job of it.
They still listen
Yeah.
to her. I don't know how long they're going to listen to her, but um, she had a couple good years, but since then she's really not done all that. So,
Yeah.
but she's great at marketing and talking and getting
She was
on
like a
TV.
rock star for a couple of years.
Yeah, she's great at being on TV, and people still listen to her for now. Um, but for her, it's all about marketing, right? Because she's like, oh, I have these ETFs, and she makes money if people have bought her ETFs.
Yep. This ARC funds. Yep.
So she has to talk about all the good stuff that are in her ETFs. And she says bad stuff, then they're going to go down and she doesn't make money. So it's really, you have to look at what is the angle? Like, what's this person's
You
angle?
always have to look at incentives. Absolutely.
Oh, I think this is going to do great. Okay. When, you know?
That's
Um,
why you have to come up with your thesis and really believe in yourself.
mhm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Cool beans. All right. Um, So this week, on Thursday, we have for our market power people, we have the double dip training.
Double dip.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to reveal the double dip strategy. That'll be the third strategy in the market power arsenal. And the numbers on that are pretty impressive. I do say so myself. Um, and then the week after that, we are having, and I don't know the name of the strategy yet. We still have voting going on. So people are
Still
voting in the
happening.
Facebook group.
There are
People
a lot
vote.
of votes on different names. That's quite
Yeah,
a bit. Yeah.
yeah. There are a lot of people.
How are you
So
going to pick it, Alan?
I have no idea. There's so many good names, but we put it in the club. We also put it in the Facebook group, so people are voting, and it's a strategy that actually greatly outperforms the S&P 500. So you could say 8 times, you could say 10 times. It's going to vary year by year, obviously, but greatly outperforms it. So I'm really excited about that. because that's what I'm doing now in our foundation account. We have a family private foundation. So in that account, that's what I'm doing. I'm not picking names. I'm not index investing. I'm using this strategy. And by law, I'm only allowed to use safe strategies in that in that foundation.
Yeah.
Um, because if I lose the money, and they investigate and they say, where'd the money go? And I say, oh, yeah, I put it all on X or I'll put it all on black, right? They're going to be like, no, you need to pay taxes on all that money.
Right.
And so it has to be very conservative. And so this strategy actually does that and it fits the bill, but it still outperforms the S&P 500. So
What more do you want than that?
that's going to be very exciting. Um, And then the week after that, we haven't announced it yet, but we're going to be doing high probability trading live, and we're going to be doing it for free this time.
All
So
right.
normally we charge for it. It's a 1 day event. We talk about, what are selling options, what are the different strategies, how do you do them? We talk about the continuum and how do you move from one level to another? How do you move up on that to become a better trader? So a lot of stuff there, a lot of content. That's going to be totally free, and that's coming up in 2 weeks. So if you're on the email list, we will be sending out emails about that, so you can sign up, totally free. And yeah,
Got
so
a
that's
full slate. Here
yeah.
we go.
So we got busy stuff. I'm busy, putting these presentations together. And it's been a long week. I've been spending a lot of hours here at the
Yeah.
office, even
Yeah.
on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, coming in, doing all this back testing for this double dip. Thankfully, it's over,
That's why we look
and
disheveled when we're in our hoodies.
and so yeah, it's 75 degrees outside, but I'm still in my hoodie. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be definitely enlightening. Both of that. That one's gonna be really good for people. The crusher or the smasher or whatever we're gonna call it, that one's gonna be that.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, man. That like I look at the numbers and I'm like, man, I don't even know if we should share this.
I know. I'm like, but
Yeah.
hey,
But yeah, we're
works
going to.
out.
And all the club members, they get in for free. So if you're in the club, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but if you're in the club, you get it for free. If you're not, you can pay money and get it. But for club members, not only do you attend the workshop for free, the recording will be in the members area for a little while. But we're also having somebody develop a indicator. So it's like a thinkorswim indicator,
Mhm.
and it basically you load it up on your thinkorswim and you look at the chart and it'll just tell you what to do.
Nice
Like,
and easy.
yeah, nothing, no calculations to do, no numbers to no nothing to remember. Just it'll tell you exactly what to do and when. And
Love
so
it.
yeah, so I'm still working on that one, putting the finishing touches on the strategy for there, the presentation, and have to finish for the double dip. So yeah, I'm a little bit busy. So I'm gonna go. Yeah. Now that I remember how much work I have to do, like, okay, I better stop yapping. And
Good.
hopefully we see you guys all there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that and hit the buttons. Let us know, give some comments, let us know how we're doing. Um, and that's all I got for today.
Yes, sir. Exciting times.
All right, my man. So we will see you on Friday.
All right.
All right, everybody, take care, and happy trading.
Bye bye.